Hey there, hope you guys are doing fine. I'm kinda doing fine, but I'll explain more about that in a minute. For today, we're going to add the last tiny bit of details to the supermarket, and I'm gonna give the supermarket a name. But before doing that, I have a couple of comments. The first one is of JD Triton. He says, totally stealing your ice cream cone idea. Well, it is for you. Enjoy. I wonder what you're going to make your ice cream shop look like. Cat Cows is saying, the way you've been ending the videos lately is tickling my funny bone. Looks like a Tesco to me. Thank you a lot for that kind comment. And I've been checking out a Tesco, and it sorta kinda looks like something that I'm building right now, but the name will still be different. Simtelli is saying, another great video. You should include the whole supermarket interior as a blueprint into my Lemmy stream world. Now, I'm definitely gonna take this whole idea and I'm going to do a little bit of a rebuilding, but I'll make sure that it's gonna be a blueprint, and of course then it's up to Mello to decide if he wants it or not based on how many entities it has. And then a random comment on part number 73, which is the 1.1 update video of Puchok K. He says, how do I craft packages? And to be honest, I have not been thinking about that, but so let's take a little look. If I can craft packages, I definitely can. You can just put it into the crafting menu search bar, pack, and then you just add in the requirements and then you can build them. Now, before we gonna go to the supermarket and check out how much space I have, and it's going to be a difficult task for today, I just want to show you guys something, or at least for the ones that have not been watching the stream, which is of course okay, but are still wondering what we have been building for the wine cellar. So here is the big door to the wine cellar, and as you can see down here, there is a door on top. Now this down here is like a mini elevator. This is to actually put all kinds of supplies into the stock. So it comes from the ship, goes in here into the elevator, and I'm thinking of it. There is no button to get this thing up. It is fine. Maybe an idea for later on. Then this is the actual wine cellar. Take a look at this beautiful build down here, which is something that we have created. So it's not just me, it is an idea of many people, like the colors. These barrels here are like blueprint of Mello. I did create it like this, hanging up some buckets on to the tap, so if it leaks, it just leaks in the bucket instead up on the floor. Oh my speaking, I see a little mistake down here. The archway I've made myself after struggling for a bit, but then all of a sudden the idea popped in my head how I should do it. I think they look great. Yes, they touch the ceiling, but it is fine. And down here we have beer barrels, and of course these are gonna go directly to the beer tap, which is just up here, and I think that is brilliant because it's exactly underneath it. And then from this area, of course, we have the actual wine tasting place, which this table for 99.98% is made by Yohes Lego. I think it is freaking awesome. You had like cheese and like pate and like other tasty things, and he made these glasses, and this bowl here I placed, and this bit of cheese I placed. He has some like I don't know what it's called in English. If I would translate this from Dutch on the wrong way to English, then it's called a stick bread, because it looks like a stick and it's a bread. Anyways, don't listen to that. This idea here comes from JD Triton. He actually made like a small example of putting these wine bottles into the wall with on this way, and then I took that idea and I basically expanded it, and or I give it some room behind it, which I made the walls yellow, and I placed like 2 yellow crystals behind there. Yeah, so it looks like this. I think it's pretty cool rather than having like a flat boring wall behind it. And of course these things you can recognize from also Johan's Lego upstairs. And then I was like, you need to have some spit bucket, because the real wine tasting, you put a little bit of wine into the glass, you shake the wine, you know, and look at the color, then you smell the wine, and then you slurp the wine into your mouth to get air into the wine while you're getting it into your mouth, and then you taste the wine, and then you spit it out in the bucket, unless you're an alcoholic, and then you know, swallow it. But the point of wine tasting, you need to taste different wines, and if you swallow all the wine, you get drunk, you won't taste it anymore as well as you would do when you're not drunk. Now, why I say it's going to be a difficult task is because I want to make some posters on the wall and something to just, you know, it looks very empty. Something to fill in the blank. But yeah, as you can see, these letters are ginormous. So it's not going to be a massive episode because it's just basically me trying to figure something out for the posters. But the developers has been announcing for the future there will be a smaller letter pack, which I hope that the letters would kind of have a size of, let's say, a potato, maybe even just a little bit smaller. And I hope it will be also thin. I don't mind if it's thin like this as bank sign or whatever is down here. That will be a nice thickness. And I've just been reading it will be maintenance on the server, so I cannot play the game between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. What? Why do they always do that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? Why not the other days when I don't need to record stuff? Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do is figure out a nice size for a poster. And in this case, how I'm going to do that is by just taking one of these blocks, place it down, and just sink it a little bit in. Something like that. It doesn't have to be super flat. Then it's important to drop my character near it and take a look at it. And this is, it's way too thick. It needs to be a little more, I'll show you. Something like this is getting better into the era of what I want, because if I go even smaller than that, maybe something like this would also be fine, you know, for a more realistic type of poster. It is going to be intensely difficult to put something on there, even though I'm going to try. So I'm just going to take these two guys and I'm going to make them white. Now the biggest problem will come lettering. How on earth am I going to make something that looks, you know, nice? Now of course we have matchsticks, but the problem with matchsticks is that they're not like really flat, except maybe for this side. Of course there is another problem with this, is that I'm gonna be so afraid that this is much wider than this, but I'm gonna try and see if I can rotate this. And I think what I need to do in order to make it rotate perfect is just put it up to a 45 degrees like that. Yeah, you see, it is just silly, but maybe this can be like a font type of style. And what I basically should be doing, like you can see how difficult it is to actually make something out of this, since, you know, the hitboxes, for some reason someone decided to make it look ginormous. What I might need to end up doing is just think very smart, which is not the easiest task to do. But what I basically mean with that is I'm going to need to think ahead. And I might need to make a whole letter pack for this, which is just insane. Thinking ahead, I mean, like, I need to make an E for an example. And what I need to do is also make this one before continuing downwards, because the one in the middle, I will not be able to select again, which I mean, I'm going to need to do this first, line it up nice, then do this again, like so, instead of first making the line of up to down and then trying to select the middle one. And yeah, this is why we really can't use a letter pack. But yeah, you see I'm already screwing it up for a bit. It's you want to do this right away perfect. Because if you don't do that and you're going to see silly little mistakes, it ain't going to be fun at all. Now this is a nice E, right? If I would do, I would make this black, for example. Let's create it into a group and then just, do it like that. I mean, this is not too bad, right? Yes, it is inclined and, maybe I need to make it a little longer. The thing here is I'm going to need to keep in mind that I'll guess to make it at least 3 wide and all the letters need to be 3 wide, because when I need to make an O, I'm going to need to add another one to make an O, and then this one needs to go away. And on this way, at least I could make smaller posters rather than using these gigantic letters. And so it is a couple days later. I did announce on my channel that I needed a little bit more time, and I am very glad that it's done right now. Even though I have to say I have a few more plans in mind, but I'm not gonna do that for this episode. But I'm about to make a lot more stuff so we can make a lot more fancy posters. There are, of course, a couple of examples of things that I could use and just place it down, flatten it out a little bit like this, and then I also kind of noticed like maybe white wouldn't be too good of an idea if it's about this piece of meat. Now, ironically enough, I do not sell this meat directly into my supermarket, but I guess it could do. Now, what I can also do is just, instead of, making this like a yellowish type of deal, is just get in here and then make this one a little bit yellowish. So when I get out, it is very much more visible. And you know what? I'm also going to make this bone white because I find gray a little bit strange. When you work with cartoon colors, this white will work for a piece of bone. Alright, the thing that I would like to do, let's just grab a couple of things here. It's going to be very important for me to just line it up perfectly. I'm going to call this, of course, meat slice, and then 2 for the price of 1 or something like that. Meat slice, 99 cents. Oh my god. Now, of course, what I would also like to do is look at certain reference images, steal a little bit of the amazing things other people have been doing on the World Wide Web. For an example, I see like a very cool, like old school type of poster, and then I'm just trying to kind of copy the color with my eyeball, make this type of green, and then I want to make like an outline that is like white to say. You know what? I just want to make it also look a little bit fancy though. I want to spend a nice amount of time to it. And something like that. It is coming along the way. Now, of course, I don't find it fancy enough just yet. So I'm going to see what can I do more in order to just give it a little bit of a boost in there. I am thinking to take this color, what I use for the white, right? And then add it to these letters. Like that, so it's nice and white. And then I would like to create like a darker background on it. Like a wow, this is 99 cents. That type of deal. But I am also maybe going to face a problem here. And that problem might be that, we're getting not only to the gigantic, massive, insanely big pieces again, but also these pieces are not like seamless, or you can see this is darker, and if you have very good eyes you can probably see a line going down here, and that is such a shame. I don't even have to look at this stuff because very clear. Now, another thing, I might need to, like I've been saying before, explore some more, because these pieces seem to be textureless. Like if I move, I don't see any glitching. Maybe it's the color also. Make it like a nice brown. I don't see any glitching. There is like a slight bit of something going on. Now I'm also thinking what I could also do. Like the thing here is there are certain shapes I'm going to need to create first. But for now, what I can do is just grab this guy and duplicate it. And then just slightly offset this for a bit. Just very slightly. Move it down. Also very slightly, and change this color to black. And let's just see how it looks like. Look at how fancy that looks like. Holy smokes, I like that more than just, you know, having it black like that. Now look at that, doesn't that look nice? Of course, the only thing that I'm going to need to a little bit figure out, like, trying to get this, like, even. Because I got a feeling this one needs to be a little more, though. And even add that up to, yeah, the meat itself. And of course, if you really want to go insanely nuts, you can even add that to the poster itself. And once again, just try to figure out the surrounding. Now, what I could also do is just copy the whole show, place it near there, and just first, you know, do the whole outlining with blocks in once, so I have everything ready. I don't have to mess around with that afterwards. Alright, we be here, and I got my poster ready to place, and of course I'm going to place it near the meat stuff. Now the thing here is, I wanna make a lot more posters, of course. I'm not gonna do that for this episode because I'm never ever going to make it. And is this okay? That is not okay, and I think I know why. Damn it. That is beautiful. Alright, I had to go back a couple of times to the editor because I also forgot to make it non-pickable. All kinds of things that I need to keep in mind when I'm doing this. All I need is 2 slices of these and 300 of these matchsticks. Now, of course, this is very fancy though. If it's about those letters, it's going to require a lot of performance. So I'm not going to do too much of this crazy lettering stuff because it just basically is doubled up. There you go. Beautiful. One heck of a flat poster onto the wall. That is fantastic. And I can make a lot more. Oh man, I love it so much. Ooh. A certain distance it acts a bit funny, but oh no, did I really? Ooh, I'm going to need to give it a little more distance, but it is okay that first of all I put it onto non-pickable, so I'm going to have a fantastic time getting this stuff off of the wall and, you know, redo it over again. But this is a good lesson. It didn't happen in the editor. It sometimes happens often that it was also with the side of this box. It didn't glitch out in the editor, and then you place it down. It's like, yeah. Are you guys ready to see what the store name is? Could you have guessed? It is the Aldi. Wow, fantastic, right? Probably not look anything like it, but yeah. The thing here is the front kind of looks like it. I've been searching Google pictures. I have seen these stores also in America and France and Germany. Well, it is German, but fuck's sake. Anyways, yes, yes. So once these posters are ready up on the wall, and I'm going to show it off to all of you, and then I'm going to put them all into the workshop. And then you guys can support this channel by buying these beautiful posters. Maybe I'll make some free posters too. But for now, I hope you guys will have a fantastic weekend. Tomorrow I'll be live streaming at 8 p.m. CET. We'll be doing a giveaway. Let's see where we're going to end up on Monday. Ah, boy, this is fantastic. But it, of course, have some screenshots. Aldi is in Germany. No way, Sherlock. Ah.